Please, take your time. My friend Joseph was one of the first people to introduce me to Persona. Persona 5 was the game of choice, and first impressions, I thought it was just another one of those long-ass JRPGs that just take forever to play through. They keep coming out in the dozens, and continue to spread and multiply like a fungus. Don't tell me I'm wrong. There are a ton of JRPGs, but I was blind to the magic that was unfolding before my eyes. Persona is a series that likes to explore models of our psyche, blend things like egos, personas, shadows, etc. as narrative points. The game uses the real world combined with a metaverse that interweaves with each other, each having elements that affect the latter, to reflect the play that our inner and outer worlds have. This game, honestly, should be a requirement for all teens and coming of agers to play through. Before we even get to Joker and the gang, it's worth knowing that Persona 5 didn't just show up out of nowhere. It crawled out of the subconscious of Atlas after nearly a decade of pressure from the public. The game was first announced in 2013, but development had already begun hitting speed bumps. It switched consoles mid-cycle of the development. The team had just come off of Catherine, and writer Katsura Hashino wanted to reinvent the Persona formula without breaking what worked before. It finally launched in Japan in 2016 and globally in 2017, after fans waited 9 years since Persona 4. That pressure turned into something intentional, a story about being trapped in a system that labels you before you even get to define yourself. The dev team wanted the game to reflect youth frustration in a rigid, corrupt society. So they built a world where kids literally steal back their identities from twisted authority figures. Very stylish. Yes, it's in style right now, but also uncomfortably real. Persona 5 uses Ren, who I'm dressed up as. Ren is a student that has a blank narrative that is a self-insert of sorts. Fundamentally, though, he's a pretty quiet and reserved student. He is sent to Tokyo where he's unknown because of mistakenly being seen as a criminal for trying to stand up for a random woman being harassed by an unknown man. Stop that, you little man! The game unfolds with Ren and a newly acquired acquaintance named Ryuji stumbling into the metaverse. There's a distorted version of the principal inside of the palace of the metaverse, which threatens to kill Ryuji and Ren. This awakens Arsene, Ren's shadow up until now, and creates the persona Arsene, and arguably the persona Joker. I say arguably due to the game's logic, but but Joker is an alter ego of sorts, which qualifies it as a persona as well to me. The difference between the heroes and the villains is in their approach to the shadow. The shadow overruns the unconscious in the villains, and the heroes integrate their shadow once it has reared its head from the unconscious. This idea is based heavily off of Freud and Jung's idea of the psyche, but most notably in terms of symbolism from the game, I would attribute the inspirations from Jung. Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist that developed the idea behind persona and the collective unconscious, which presents itself as mementos in this game. Jung described personas as being archetypal images we took up in relation to interacting with other people, which are aspects of our personality we either push to the forefront or we repress depending on who we're interacting with. It's a form of social survival, and both me and you do it. Our personas adapt and change over time in response to whatever situations we find ourselves in while we interact with other people's personas. It's very similar to the game loop. As you level up, you fuse personas that create new personas and use it to face other personas, which you can steal even for yourself. And this is all things that we do subconsciously moving around in the society. I'm sure Jung would say if he was alive today. The personas are all pulled from symbols created by man. Tales from Christianity, Hinduism, Norse, Greek mythology, Japanese folklore, etc. It's a beautiful way to equate what we normally go through in our own coming-of-age stories as we grow up. To use Arsene as an example, it's not necessarily that Ren chose Arsene, but rather the latter. Arsene chooses Ren because of Ren's life circumstances and the necessity to cultivate the persona of Arsene in the conflicts that are arising. Persona's Arsene is based off of a French story of Arsene Lupin, who is a charming and cunning gentleman thief created by Maurice Leblanc, known for his wit, mastery of disguise, and moral code that favors justice over law. He steals from the corrupt rich, often outsmarts the police, and uses his intellect and flair to turn each crime into an art form. Though a criminal by definition, he's seen as a hero by many, a rogue who exposes hypocrisy, challenges authority, and always stays one step ahead. Some might even say 2 steps ahead. He embodies the romantic ideal of the noble outlaw. Arsene is just one example, but these archetypal symbols and their tales are illustrations of different aspects of the totality of our personalities. Jung would say that all of what I'm describing emerges from the unconscious, which is most directly accessed in the form of dreams. Does that sound familiar maybe to something in the game? What do you think? My opinion is that the metaverse is actually what's going on in the unconscious, and it shows up in the material world, the world of form. You can get pretty woo-woo in this line of thought though, but life itself is pretty inherently already woo-woo, so I wouldn't close your mind off to concepts like this. Tarot cards are a clever way to further this concept. The major arcana tarot cards are used to represent your confidant levels and relationships you gain while navigating your daily school life. The major arcana is a set of 22 cards that represent profound life lessons, spiritual growth, and archetypal themes we encounter on our journey through life, starting with the Fool, a symbol of new beginnings and potential, and ending with the World, representing completion and wholeness. The cards chart a path known as the Fool's Journey, a metaphor for personal evolution, which ends up looping back to start with the Fool again, starting one's journey all over. Along the way, the cards explore inner strength, with the Strength card, transformation, with the Death card, balance with the Temperance card, upheaval with the Tower card, and enlightenment with the Star and the Sun card. There's a lot going on if you look into tarot. Each card acts as a mirror, reflecting major shifts in consciousness, relationships, identity, and the soul's growth, offering insight into deeper patterns shaping our experiences. The Fool being Igor's arcana, since he's been here since the beginning, man. And forever, for eternity. He's just a chill guy like that. And the World Arcana arguably being the contents of the entirety of the Persona series. Okay, let me leave the metaverse here. Let's talk about routine. Oh gosh. Persona goes through great lengths into teaching you routine and encourages you to use your time as wisely as you can and maximize what you can get out of your time. It nudges you to pay attention to the lessons during your school day. I ain't learning a goddamn thing, dude. If you do well in school, it can strengthen your knowledge. Stay in and study when the weather is bad also ends up strengthening your knowledge more. Hanging out with confidants will deepen your bonds and give you additional abilities inside of the metaverse. You can deepen them even quicker with gift giving, and if you pay attention to the things that the characters like and don't like, you can give them the best gifts that strengthens your bonds a lot quicker. Life works like this. The stronger your network is, the stronger you are as a result. Persona has taught me how important it is to pick the right people, and to nurture those people that are able to nurture me back. From where I come, people can waste a lot of their own time with unproductive behavior, and Persona makes it glaringly obvious how important it is to grab a hold of your own time, schedule, and not let the outside world do that for you. This part of the video is redacted because I've simply just had some weirder and weirder experiences with the internet progressively while the time of editing this, and just my span of time of making stuff, and this part had some personal details in it, but I think I'm at a point where I don't want to share anything more than my face. So here, have an ad for my web store for Magic the Gathering cards instead. Do you like Magic the Gathering? Well, I have the perfect store for you. In the description of this video, I have a TCG store, and any card that you buy from there, I will try to pick out 2 cards that work with the cards that you order and send it your way. It's a great way to support the channel if you're interested. But regardless, thank you for taking the time to watch this. Taking control of your time, asking questions for why you're taking action in things, will make you an incredibly intentional person who is bound to find effectiveness in the actions that you take. You will become a person that has the power to enrich or destroy other people's lives once you find the ability to do this. Regardless of what you do too, there's a chance people will misunderstand what you are doing and paint you as a target. With a beautiful concoction of malicious intent and being misunderstood by the public, that can pull external validation into question. Why do we do good things if the people in question we do them for will toss us to the side? Well, put on a mask and ace the masquerade.
I leveled up.
The central core around the theme of this game is wearing, using, and removing masks that act more so for symbolism. Joker wears the mask as a trickster, and the underlying tone of that is to be malicious, but he uses that persona to be a type of Robin Hood, a thief, but a force of good. The members of the Phantom Thieves are routinely people who are perceived as helpless, who are taken advantage of and beaten down, then to top it all off, told that they are the bad ones for being who they are. The mask is donned once the victims become the perpetrators who take their own fate and time into their hands. They rebel against the evil narratives that have been fed and cast onto them, and pushing their own narrative into the world once they cast this one they've been handed to the side. With being taken advantage of in my own life, everywhere I turned to for help, helped where they could, but ultimately I've ate the loss and held the responsibility for the same adult responsibilities I need to hold on to. I don't want this to be taken as complaining, but more so to serve a point that I'm going to bring up. This reception to me being taken advantage of shown me that simply no one will hold responsibility for my life for me. And if there's anyone that's going to save me, it's gonna be myself. I need to be the deus ex machina of my own life, and you need to be the savior of yours. We gotta clutch out our life narratives and create some dubs, gamers. Then we can come together as Phantom Thieves. A lot of us out here are fed so much by our phones that there's so much noise in our lives routinely. I encourage you to find silence and quiet to introspect what you want from this life, regardless of what's going on in it. People will have so much to say about so many different things that honestly will have such little impact over your personal experience of life anyway, so use that time to serve you and the people you love and admire. Your voice will be silenced by the culture we have built, with every emotional human moment being tied to a neurosis, being prescribed a pill for every struggle adjusting to a modern world. It does everything in its power to convince you that you are the problem. Or could you having emotional reactions be a normal part of reacting to a profoundly sick world? This world will try to take your voice from you, and the question I pose to you is if you're gonna steal it back. Mementos is a huge proponent of Persona 5 royalist narrative. Going back to Jung, that amazing human being that I talked about earlier, Jung believed that humanity had one shared, universal, collective unconscious that we all abide by without knowing. The Mementos is the shadow of society. All of the bullying, the gossip, and the resentment spurs out of Mementos. And Mementos realize that all of these people have been hurt and hold on to their hurt. So then they can justify hurting other people. They don't realize that they just perpetuate and multiply this cycle. The hallways are repetitive, dark, and convoluted, spirals upon spirals of subways as you go deeper and deeper into Mementos. Looking to the outside and listening to what you should do is the reason why things are so bad right now. What should I do with my time? Should I go to school? What should I go to school for? Should I give up? Should I just go do something else? Dude, none of us know what decisions you should and should not make. The moment you stop and wait for your inner voice to tell you what you need to do is the moment that you got it. Most of us source out our autonomy and then complain how much our lives suck. Like, yeah, the media isn't gonna save you, politics aren't gonna save you, school isn't gonna save you, and work won't. Nothing out there is gonna save you and is probably trying to profit off of your inaction right now. I cannot see a damn thing this week. Much better. So I have compassion for the person taking what I'm saying in and thinking, but Cujo, I want to do right by other people. I care about the world and the people inside it. I see that in you. Don't ever lose that. But this is the one life that you've been living. We don't know what happens before birth or after death. My favorite philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche came up with the idea of something called the eternal recurrence that I would like you to try and use in your life once I explain it. Essentially, Nietzsche's idea is somewhat a twist on a Buddhist belief in reincarnation, but you take it and you just apply it to your own life. And if you were forced to be reborn for eternity, except in this life, you repeated this life for eternity, what would you do? You would repeat the same life over and over and over. The one that's watching this, you would watch this over and over and over and repeat the sequence of events before and after for eternity on loop. Nietzsche believes with this thought that the best thing that you can do is affirm every heartbreak, every content moment, every moment of tragedy, and every moment of joy. So, what are you going to do about it? The phrase, take your time, has a double entendre inside of this game. First, most people say take your time, meaning to take things slow, leisurely, and not to feel rushed into doing anything. If you actually take your time with doing something, you usually do this with the purpose of getting things right also. There's a lack of pressure and an affirmation of just vibing. Maybe with some Fan of Thieves. Whoa, hey guys up top. Yeah. Secondly, if you look at this phrase through the lens of this game's themes, what they're meaning here is to take it more literally. Take your time as your own time. So many things out here seek to take your time and your attention at the current moment, me included right now, and you need to reclaim it and take full accountability for your time. The world is a mess right now, but you don't need to carry the weight of it alone. Hopefully, I can be a confidant that's a part of your journey in the healing and becoming. And you can enjoy the journey also. Time is what you make of one place, one visit. And Joker isn't the chosen one of the story. Joker was the one that was forced into a situation where he had to wake out of a slumber of passivity. And in the famous words of the songwriter Joe Scott Heron, the revolution will not be televised.
The catchphrase, what that was all about, the revolution will not be televised, that was about the fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move. So when we said that the revolution will not be televised, we were saying that the thing that's going to change people is something that no one will ever be able to capture on film. It'll just be something that you see and all of a sudden you realize, I'm on the wrong page. Or I'm on the right page, but I'm on the wrong note. And I've got to get in sync with everyone else to understand what's happening in this country.
The revolution is underneath everything. And it starts with you and the choices you make today. For me, for everyone, take your time today. Make the most of it. Use the mask for good. And remember who you were before the mask. Thank you. Gosh. Look at my scuffed outfit, dude. For me, for everyone. Oh my god, dude. What the hell? No way. It's caught on my earring. Holy shit.